Hi, my name is Mike Robertson. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about different drill bits and drill press operation. So let's start off by looking at these drill bits we have here. This is your traditional drill bit. This is a twist bit. This is one that most of us have probably seen before. This is used on wood, metal, or plastic. So most people are probably pretty familiar with this. This is called a brad point. Hopefully you can probably see the little point on the end. This is used predominantly just for wood. Okay, and we use this because it's very easy to find the center point of the hole. So we could use an awl or maybe even a nail or something to mark exactly where you want the center point. You can line it up and drill your hole, again, just for wood. This is called a paddle bit or a spade bit. This is used just for wood. We use these mostly for through holes, just because for a flat bottom hole it has this large centering point on it and it's not really good for that. Now, this is called a Forstner bit. This particularly is a multi-spur Forstner because it has all these on the outside. This is used for large flat bottom holes. And one thing I do want to note here is that it's a very large diameter. You can get them that are a lot larger than this, but the larger the diameter bit, the slower you want the machine to run. And again, this is just for wood. This is a hole saw. This outer part can be exchanged to any number of sizes. This is used for metal or wood or plastic. This is actually a masonry bit, and you'll notice it has this point on it. It looks kind of like a spear or an arrowhead. Anytime you see these, this is for masonry. So you won't be using this on a drill press, but I have seen people trying to use these before on wood or plastic or maybe even metal. So just these are meant for masonry. Don't use them on anything else. Now, next, let's back up and take a look at the drill press here. Okay. Now, first things first, whenever we're using this, you want to make sure that your work area is clean. So we'll move all these bits off to the side. You want to make sure that it's fairly dust-free. I use a brush, you probably should too. Sometimes you just use your hand and don't do that. Quite often people will be cutting steel on here or something else. You could end up with some very sharp shavings. So use a brush when you're clearing this off. Now, a few other basics we'll talk about here when we go ahead. And we'll use the brad point. When we're putting these in here, I like to make sure that we're a good, 3/4 of an inch into the chuck. Most drill presses have a keyed chuck, not like a regular drill motor. You might have a keyless chuck on. So these I like to tighten from at least 2 different spots. Now, adjusting the speed. We said earlier that the wider the bit, the slower you want to go. Also, the harder the material, the slower you want to go. We're set up just fine right now, and with this size bit, we don't have to adjust the speed. This is a belt system, so you just take off the cap to this and adjust the speed by changing the belt position. Some other machines may have a VFD, a variable frequency drive, where you can adjust it electronically, or if it's a belt-driven system, you can adjust the speed while the machine is running. So, for a smaller piece of wood, it's also very important when we go ahead and try to drill a hole in here that you have it either in a vise or some kind of a clamp so that it doesn't spin around. This piece is long enough I can really hold on quite well, and I feel confident in the fact that I don't need to clamp this down. Now, if you have a longer piece of wood, it's also important to note that you don't want to put the length of it to the right, okay? Because if the drill bit catches, it can come around and hit you. I would put it to the left, so that way if it does get caught, it'll go around and hit the column of the drill press instead of hitting you. A few other safety things. If you have long hair or a tie or little tassels on a hooded sweatshirt, you want to make sure to tuck those in or tie your hair back. Make sure that no loose clothing can get caught. Make sure that all your tools are removed. Make sure that your chuck key is removed. Yes, some people have left it in. So make sure that it's nice and clean, ready to go. Also, you want to make sure that you have a nice straight drill bit. You can do that a couple ways. Sometimes I just lay it on a flat surface and roll it. Okay. You can also turn your machine on, and if it wobbles around, the drill bit wobbles, you know that it's bent. So always make sure you have a straight, sharp bit. Also, you never want to reach underneath of a turning bit. It could be quite dangerous. And if you're drilling a deep hole, you want to make sure to back out of the hole. So as you're going down, drill in and drill out. And it's also called pecking if you're going at metal. It actually cuts the chips off, so you don't end up with a very large chip of metal swinging around. With this size bit, we could probably drill through this small piece of stock here quite easily. And you'll notice also that I have a scrap board. This table has several holes in it. People have kind of pecked it all the way around, but I still put down just a scrap piece of wood to protect the table. Now, when you drill all the way through this, if you don't want splinters on the back of your board, you have to make sure that you're at a fresh spot on whatever sacrificial board you put down, so that way it'll support those fibers and you won't have a lot of tear out on the back of whatever hole you drill. So let's go ahead and get started. You want to make sure, if it's good sharp bit, you shouldn't force it through the material, okay? So you should just let the drill press do the work. Hold on tight, I have it to the left, and we're drilling the hole down. I can go about halfway down and pull up, and then go the rest of the way through. Alright, so we've got a nice hole. A nice hole drilled here. We just left a little mark in our sacrificial board here. And you can see that the sawdust was starting to get clogged in these flutes a little bit. So, if we were drilling a large hole, if you're doing a mandrel turning or something, you had a piece of vise and you had to drill 3 or 4 inches, you'd want to continually back up to clean out these flutes. It can heat up the bit, dull the bit as a result of heating it up pretty quickly, so you just want to be careful. So, as always, you want to read the manufacturer's safety instructions and operating instructions, and be safe and have fun.